joining me and being a part of the archive interview series for Northwest Folklife. I have a few questions prepped, and we can go off script, we can do whatever we want, but how about you just start by telling us a little bit about who you are, where you're from, what you do, and anything else you'd like us to know.
Well, thank you. Wow, this is pretty new for me and kind of fresh. Thank you for taking me out of the shell, by the way. Emily, I really liked the invitation. My name is Fernanda Bruno. I was born and raised in Manaus, in the Amazon, in Brazil. I moved to U.S. in 2015 just to navigate a new language, just to learn English. And but sounds like life had different plans to me, and I have lived in California and for 7 years, and I moved to Phoenix, Arizona, and I've been in Seattle. It's about 3 years now. Yeah, I'm a self-taught videographer slash filmmaker slash storyteller, whatever you want to call it, because I pretty much do my work from start to ending through my journey. So what drives me to my work is my storytelling, pretty much. Because during COVID, during the pandemic times, I had a chance to discover that inside of me of how to navigate what I really love and what it's part of myself. So COVID was last times for me because I had my phone and studying video shooting with my phones and sports, movements, emotions, interviews. And it ends up that I was also learning about video editings, and then putting all those pieces together, I noticed that it was something that really drives me. And even without going to school, it felt like there was something special to do behind, which was telling story of people, tell how they feel and how they present themselves and what drives themselves. So pretty much was through sports. But everything was connected because the emotion and the meditation, the zone, everybody's kind of in the same feeling of find themselves and bring themselves back to themselves. Like it means like whatever they do, it comes from some place. So it needs a story to tell, which I found my brand as a stories to feel. Because I feel like, well, story to tell doesn't really resonate to me because everything I see here, it's based on feelings. People are feeling, and they have a feeling behind whatever we do, you know. So passing forward, I came to Seattle and I kept improve my work and shifting my work for all the time. I learn every day pretty much. With every single person, every single project, it's a different canvas, you know. There's nothing that it would be the same for me because it's a quiet presence, you know.
Okay, so your brand is stories to feel, and I like how you differentiated that from just telling a story, but like what the heart of your work is, how can you convey a story that really makes a person feel something or expresses the feeling behind whatever this person is doing. You said you started with sports, but like from what I've seen of your work, it's all encompassing, right? It's not just sports or art or it could be anything, right? But what matters, as I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like, yeah, what is the larger story and feeling behind this person and what compels them to do what they do? Yeah, so I'm wondering, what are some of the challenges you faced? You know, you started in 2020 during the pandemic. Like, I think that's a beautiful time to discover what you love to do. And it seems like you've moved all over the place. And so from Brazil to California, Arizona, Seattle, you know, yeah. So what are the challenges you faced and how does that inform how you move forward in your work?
Well, many, I guess, many challenges. First, to bring my vision in a place that it was new to me, which is the storytelling, the videography word, and all this new relearning, reinventing myself was a challenge. Besides the English language too, I think I was in a transition of like become someone in a foreigner language, but also express myself through my work or through my beliefs, right, and my value. So that was it was a challenge, but it was not in a bad perspective. Actually, it was in a transformation way. So I had to reinvent myself, have to accept my growth. I have to face myself to build confidence. Yeah. No, no, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, yeah. I was just thinking that what you said, like accepting your growth. I think that that's such an important thing to recognize as like a process, you know, because growth means that you potentially fail, right? You potentially have setbacks, and you're learning to be and transform yourself. And you know, that's not always an easy thing to do. So I think accepting that as, you know, part of this chapter of your life or prior chapter of your life. I don't know if you still feel like, you know, you're growing into or transforming or becoming a new person, but yeah, that's super powerful.
Yeah, so thank you. Thank for saying that, because sometimes I don't see that as that's happening. It's happening every day, all the time. So the acceptance requires an openness. You know, if I'm not opening means I can move forward to whatever life wants to give to me. And when I take that to my beliefs and my values through my visual stories or my visual process, because I can't detach myself from what I do. I notice that I realize that with a half it's delightment, but a half it's painful, because everybody think that it's you need to separate yourself from what you do, but you have to become yourself with what you do, because it becomes the natural, organic way that you are following the same process with whoever you encounter on the life. It's a new story, you know, it's a new perspective. So I will never be the same after a new project, after a new video, which is I'm never the same, because I cannot engage with someone, or I cannot engage with any other project without being with that openness. You know, I don't hyper focus on the differences, because the outcome of my work is the community. It's not before, it's after, because whatever comes from my work after generates something. I don't know, you can plant seeds in many ways, but I feel the change. So the transformation, it's every day, but the openness, it's up to me, right? So I feel like it's not easy. It feels like here it sounds like a spread of words, but it's a lot. It's a lot to be aware of, to return to this place of awareness of like, okay, where is my roots? Where am I grounded? What brings peace? So if I fulfill myself of those like foundation, I can definitely feel like I can share with anybody. But through my work, because that's how I cope everything. My emotions, my personal life, my homesickness, everything, it's coped with what I do, you know. There's no other way, you know. And then it feels when I encounter a new person that wants the video or wants to project their ideas, I go from my presence into see I have to pretty much unveil what do you want it to, what's your message, right? What's behind the reason you're looking for me to work with me, to collaborate with me? It's not even about needs. People think it's about needs, but it's not about needs. It's about belonging, you know? It's about belonging somewhere or belonging to something. That's how my video works. Of course, there is those transactional, which is, it cuts sometimes the connection. Transaction can cut our connection all the time, because of course I need to get paid, you need to get your video, but you need to get your visuals, you need to tell your story, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to make a difference here. You know what I mean? We're going to make something that we both are going to win, you know? So that's how I see. Am I too? Yeah. Oh my God. I was just like, you know?
Yeah, I appreciate the way that you talk about your work as like, not only does it offer so much to whomever your client is, whoever wants the video, whoever reached out to you, it impacts them, it gives them something, but also in return, it gives you so much as well, right? And I hear in the way that you talk how it's not just transactional, like you said, it's like what feels good to you is the relationships that come from your work, from these projects. So, we talked a little bit about your challenges, but now I want to talk about what are some of the projects that have felt really impactful to you? Like, you put together a reel for this Northwest Folklife Festival. This is what this interview is about. And maybe you could speak to one or two of the videos that you've already put together, and tell us what it was about, and that, and if you want to speak to, like a project that was particularly significant.
Well, okay, so, I don't think I have one unique project, I think all of them taught me something about myself. But I hope I also add something to their lives. But most of the projects, I think it's related to when I can have a chance to get to know the person. And usually it's funny because usually the ones that I have time for that, or not have time that I want to time with. I think time is also something very precious for spending, but doesn't mean like I don't have time. I want to give that time. I want to give time. I'm going to believe that get to know the person behind the project, it's going to actually impact the result of the visual stories telling or the video. So it's a process. If it's just like the feeling of unveiling the whole way of how we're going to showcase this. It's pretty much when you think about a movie, the movies are not made in 3 months or 2 weeks. Sometimes documentaries, which is pretty much what I think my foundation of style is documentary, but it takes time because you need to engage with the person. You need time to connect. They need to trust you. Like, imagine like we met like last year, right? I guess. So, and now it's a different vibe. Right. It's very like comfortable, and we trust each other and the point that let's do this, let's make that happen, or I'm not ready for this. So building relationship with the project related to the goal of bring that visual, all of them matters to me. Okay, I'm gonna capture that, we're gonna work on that. Why? What's the big whys behind us? You know what I mean? It's like, what's the big whys that you wrote the song? You dancing for this. You have this small business about beer. You sell tacos. What's the big whys? What's the big whys of you dancing Afro? What's the big whys of you waking up? The whys give you true self, Because I don't know. It just feels like the depth of navigating my work. It's all of them. It was about connection.
What I'm hearing is it's so much about the process for you, right? Like, and that is what makes it your work and whatever the projects are significant, What's in the future for you? Like, are you continuing on the same track that you're doing? Do you have any goals in the near future? Are you, do you want to talk a little bit about that? Yeah, or is it, if it's like too... I just think about like, man, there's...
I mean, joking. No, I mean... Yeah, good question. I'm not saying that I don't envision things. I don't think about, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a everyday transformation. Like, I do think that my process is going to tell me about my future,
Yeah, say that again,
my process is going to tell me about my future. I can control that. I can plan, but I gotta just navigate with life gives to me, with my work in return to me. So that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe I have a to-do list. Maybe I have like 2026, 27, 28 perspectives of what I want to. But in fact, no, that's not real. It's an illusion. For me, it's an illusion. Life taught me that I came here for more than learn English. So I moved here with the planning of, let me go just to learn English, improve and then let's see. But look look what I'm ending up in right now, right? It's just, I don't know. I don't even know I would be a videographer.
How long did you plan on staying in the U.S.?
1 year. 1 year, 1 year.
And how long has it been?
10 years, I guess.
Okay, yeah. No, I think that's really beautiful. It's like, it's true, right? Like, I think about my own life and, like, where I thought I might have been 5 years ago, like, now, like, looking back, I never would have thought I'd be in Seattle doing what I do. And it's crazy how life changes, and there's so much wisdom in what you said about how, the process will tell you what is going to be coming down the pike, like what is in your future. And it like there's a lesson in there about like being open and present to what life is handing you and showing you in the very moment, and not being stuck on like, I wanted to do 20 videos and be on the big screen or whatever it is, like that, holding yourself so tightly to those idealistic goals, or like, I feel like that takes away from the lessons that are learned in the present moment.
Yeah, I feel like, well, where are you from? Like you said. Oh, nice. I didn't know that. So you moved here. I'm interviewing you, right? I was like, when did you move here? Joke. No, like, that's good to know, because, I mean, I know I'm from a different country, but it matters, like, geographic decisions like that, moving to states to states, country to country, it requires this openness, requires that sensibility of, let me see what life has to offer me. Of course, it's not that clean and clear, because it's blurry, actually. It's like, I have no idea what I'm doing, what I'm going to do. Even though I have 3 lists of what I want to do, it doesn't, like you said, like holding tight, make you fall, and not knowing how to stand up, because you have the spontaneity or the improvisation comes from let it go. Right? I think it's just natural. I believe in those invisible forces of like, believe. It doesn't mean you should hold tight. Hold tight till you lose. You lose a lot, because you got to be aware about the signs of simple sign. Oh, why it didn't happen to me? Why I moved to Seattle? Why Seattle? Or like, why not? Why I didn't get that job? Why this didn't work? So like, there is the whys behind it's not always we can explain. I believe we just, if you're not open, is you get in places that it takes time for you to accept, which is frustration, depression, and sadness, and there's a lot of fights. You shouldn't fight with the nature. The nature of our core is the nature of acceptance. But I just realized that with like jumping in something that I don't even know where it would go, like making videos and then learning from the ground about video editing, learning from the ground about cameras, about lenses. But at the end of this whole thing, it wasn't about going to school, it's about like, this is me, like this name of Stories to Feel, it makes so much sense today to me. I didn't know that would become actually myself. That was like, it's crazy for me, like, wow, I'm actually what my brand exactly it is. I can see that Stories to Feel, it's myself. It changed.
Or no, that didn't change,
It didn't change.
Yeah, your brand. Yeah.
Impressive. Like for me too, like sometimes like, I was like, wow, the name, it really fits this whole like 5 year. I have 5 years with the name, but I officially made that happen here in Seattle. So it means like, when I created the idea, it was just in a project.
That's awesome. I really enjoy hearing your story. Like, you know, we don't. I'll probably edit this out, but like, yeah, like.
Let's just go. Just to make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, I just like I didn't.
Let's make it a coffee day.
Yeah. I just want to say I enjoyed like just hearing more about your story. Yeah, so if people who are listening or watching this want to support you, want to find more of your work, where can they go and what can they do to support you?
Yeah, my Instagram, of course. Also have stories to feel at gmail.com. Yes, and sooner my website will be launched. So after the project, so it'll be sooner there.
Well, I've been ending these interviews with a sign-off question about like, yeah, if there's a person, a song, or a phrase that's really impacted you, or how did I say it? That's changed how you see the world. Yeah, like, is there something like that has changed how you see the world? A person, a phrase, a song?
No, actually, no. There's no anything in mind right now to name any. I can't name anything specific right now because it's part of the whole. You know, everything. It's the whole. It's like you can separate like. Inspires you a song, but the next day you also connect that song with someone that you just read a book, but then you make that connection with an event you just show up at night, and then that's what makes you change your lenses, because we all have lenses, and those lenses of perspective it change with what life brings to you, you know, because I'm open. One more time, if I'm not opening, it's like even the question, I think it's one of the, it's a doorway, you know, like it's a way of seeing this question different ways, like, okay, what exactly, how I see, how I perceive. I haven't changed the word. I changed the way I see, you know? I changed the way I see. If you change the way you see things, it's pretty much you change yourself. I don't know if I can make myself understand in this way, but if I'm not open to see perspectives or to see differences, it doesn't matter what I have. If it's a song, if it's a book, if it's a guru, if it's a project, I'm not open. So everything's going to pass through my eyes and nothing going to stay. You know what I mean? So I don't change by things. I change, notice that how I'm open enough to make this change. Am I open enough to make this change? Am I surrendering to some change, you know? And it takes a lot of work, but one of the amazing challenges I see that life gives to us is just making change, you know?
No, that's great. It's like, it's more about how you approach the things in your life rather than like the things that come to you changing you. It's like, I am choosing to be open enough to be changed by what I'm experiencing. Yeah. Cool. That's beautiful. Thank you so much. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. All right. You're welcome.